Here's a short explanation of the London board game, a race game around the underground of London. The game from Ideal is for 2 to 6 players ages 7 and up. The average game time is about 45 minutes, with the objective of the game to be the first player to visit all of their stops. Here's what's in the box. The board, 6 metro trains, 1 for each player, 12 small discs, these are for station closures, 1 dice cup and 1 die, 40 souvenir cards, and 56 hazard cards. To set up, first place the board in the center of the playing area. Each player should collect their color metro train and also 2 of the small discs. Next, shuffle the hazard cards. Place them face down so that all players can reach. Also, shuffle the souvenir cards. Deal to each player 6 of the cards. The players may look at their cards, but they shouldn't show them to other players. Take the rest of the souvenir cards and place them aside. They will not be used for the remainder of the game. Players are trying to reach each of the stations that are mentioned on their souvenir cards, so they will first need to determine where their starting position will be. The 5 starting points are Liverpool Street, King's Cross, Paddington, Victoria, and Waterloo. Players may choose any of those stations to start. There can be multiple players at the same station. Place your train on whichever station you choose. Next, each player can take 2 of their purple discs and place them on whatever stations they choose. This closes that station, and no one can pass through here while the disc remains. So you can use them to block your opponents. Next, each player rolls the dice to see who goes first. Play continues clockwise around the board. On a player's turn, you roll the dice. This will indicate the amount of stations that you can move for that turn, so long as it is on the same color line. So say, for example, I'm at St. Paul's, which is on the red central line, and I'm trying to get to Aldgate, which is on both the Metropolitan and Circle lines. It's only 3 stops away. I roll a 4. Since they are not on the same line, I cannot get there all in one turn, as I will need to change lines at Liverpool Street. So I can move 2 spaces to Liverpool Street and stop there. Announce that I am going to change lines, and then I draw a hazard card. More about that in just a moment. But let's say I'm at St. Paul's and I'm trying to get to Mile End. I roll a 4. I can move 4 stations along the central line, which takes me all the way there. When you arrive at one of your stations, you end your turn, announce your station, and flip over the corresponding card. Anytime you need to change lines, you will need to draw a hazard card. When planning routes, try and change lines as little as possible, as crazy things can happen when you draw a hazard. When you draw the card, read it aloud to the group and then follow any instructions that are given on the card. There can be any number of different consequences on a hazard card, from losing your turn to being transported to a completely different part of the board. If a station is closed, you may not pass through it. You have to find an alternative route. However, there are some ways to reopen a station. If you have rolled a 6 and your train can pass through a closed station, then you can open that station to pass. Place the disc on a new station that you determine needs to be closed. If you draw an open-closed station card from the hazard cards, this means you can pick any station to be reopened. Move the disc to a new station that you determine needs to be closed. If you are sent to a station that is closed by a hazard card, you get to automatically reopen that station. Move the disc to a new station that you determine needs to be closed. Once you have visited all 6 of your stations and your cards are all face up, it's not over yet. You must make your way back to your original starting point before any other player is able to do so. The first player to visit all of their stations and return back to their starting point is the winner. This is a fun way to learn how to plan your way around the London Underground. We'll hope you'll take a moment to like and to subscribe to our channel. We're producing new tutorials almost daily on how to play many different board games. If you like this game, you should check out Mind the Gap. Now it's time to head to the tubes. Tubes. Let's play.